Welcome to another edition of 42 Straight Years In. On my crackhead update. Early this morning, I seen a car date lady out there walking around. So when I come out on my patio, she seen me and walked over and started talking. So I invited her in for breakfast. So me and her and my old lady, we sit there and ate breakfast and sit around and chit chat. She said she gonna change her ways. That mini stroke she had, I think that kind of got her heart right. She got to maintain her health. So she drink, she smoke cigarettes, and one thing about it, she walk all the time. But she got a Maserati, got a 2018 Maserati, parked right beside me. And it's rare she drive her car. She always walk. That's my crackhead update. Y'all know what it is. Get your shanks out. And let's get ready to ride. I need my likes. Don't cost you nothing. Hit the like button. And follow me over on Patreon. The link will be in the description. At one time, after the class action lawsuit, it had got settled. Texas can say they were the only prison in the United States that allowed maximum security inmates to go home on furloughs. Texas is the only state that ever did that. I mean, guy got life, 99 years, 75 years. Allow these guys to go home. At first, they started the program, the furlough program, 5 days. Then they increased it to 7. Now I went on 2 of those furloughs when they had the program going. And you know that changed a lot of guys. It helped a lot of people. A lot of guys who I knew was they stay in trouble all the time. When they see they could get a furlough and go live with their family for a little while and get some good food and sex, man, they change their whole lifestyle. I see a lot of guys say, "Hey man, I would skin you up, but my sister come and pick me up, man. I'm going home. I don't know about you. I'm going home for me 7 days." And then a lot of guys, you know, they had something to live for, got an incentive to stay out of trouble. Because back in the day, they still had a revolving door. It was easy to get out of a Texas prison. Once you did the mandatory minimum required by the parole board, in all likelihood, you was going home unless you was a mass murderer or you killed a cop or you was a mass rapist. You wasn't one of those, you were going home. And that program, it worked good. No other state has never had a program like that. Probably had a program where they allow low-level offenders to go out on a furlough, but Texas was allowing guys with life to go out on furlough. I remember the first time I went, man, I felt so good driving away from that prison, man. Man, I felt good. You know, guys would ask you, well, why you won't run? Why you don't escape? For the simple reason they got your family over the barrel. You can get your family locked up behind your dumb shit. You can't do your time. They done gave you a chance, but you want to get your mother, your grandmother, your sister locked up. Man, a man gonna take his licks. Even my mother asked me, she said, "Man, I ain't no way I would go back to that prison." I said, "Yeah, but what I'm going to do if you get locked up? The only help I got, what's going to happen to me then? If you get locked up, then they eventually catch me and I get locked up. Now we both locked up. Ain't nothing you can do for me." So I would never do it. It was up to the unit warden whether you went on that furlough. And that, when they had the furlough program, it was a good thing to be known by the warden. You want to be known. That way he can make his judgment. If you some guy he don't know anything about, majority of the time he was going to turn you down for that furlough. He was not going to approve you going on no furlough. Now me, he told me, say, "Hey man, with your disciplinary," he said, "ain't no way nobody's supposed to let you go nowhere." He said, but I'm going to give you a chance. Only thing what helped me out was that college program. I stayed into the college program. No matter how much disciplinary I caught, man, I stayed in that college program. I said, man, I'm going to graduate. I don't give a shit, man. A lot of time, I would be forced to go along with the program because when I catch disciplinary, they throw me out of the college program. Now I got to go talk to the ward to get put back in the program. And so sometimes he'd have me over a barrel. I got to go in there and ask him, hey, he put me back on the college list. It's all up to the unit ward. Well, you know, a lot of guys were screwing it up. They was going out, committing robberies, putting the money on their prison accounts. When they come back, they got money. Some guys were coming back high. All they was doing was lock you up in the jailhouse 24 hours and release you. They wouldn't even giving you the disciplinary. Just lock you up and release. Guy come back drunk, they just lock him up overnight in the jail, let him out the next day. As soon as he sober up, they let him out. But like anything, man, inmates gonna screw it up. You know, and all the gang activity and all that didn't do nothing to help the administration. So they cut all the programs out. That's why Texas inmates now don't have anything. I mean, nothing. Due to the COVID-19, they allow them to get video visitation through video conferencing. Matter of fact, I got to go on the prison website. I got a homeboy who I've talked about before, Bernadette Lee. He's been locked up now 25 years for a crime that he didn't commit. And I got to go on a prison website at the Styles unit to see what their procedure is for the video conference. So me and him can have a visit. I sent him a JPay. This man been locked up 25 years because he don't have no outside help. He ain't committed no crime. I say this from time to time. The few guys who I've ran into, I've had occasion to meet, who actually will tell you they didn't do the crime, it always comes out later on they're telling the truth. Because most of those guys do not say anything about committing the crime. They complain about the length of the sentence, or the lawyer didn't do the right thing, or the witness didn't testify. It was insufficient evidence. They got some type of technicality. They didn't say they didn't commit the crime. They were looking at how the court system convicted them. I got a homeboy. Me and him was in college together at Ramsey. I ain't gonna call his name because he's a hell of a businessman here in Dallas. I just got off the phone with him and I said, man, I wasn't even gonna do this video. I was gonna do one tomorrow. But I said, man, when I got off the phone with him, I said, I gotta do this video, man. I got to. Anyway, every evening, man, well, we come out of college and sometimes 10:30 at night. And back then, they had what they call rack up. That was at 10 o'clock. All Texas prisons, you had to go in your cell or your housing area, your living area at 10 o'clock. It was lights out. Had mandatory lights out. Could not turn that cell light on in your cell for no reason whatsoever. You'll get beat up. And sometimes we didn't make it out of college, man, to about 10:30 at night. And we got a shower. Like me, sometimes I worked in the fields. I had dirty clothes on. I ain't even took a shower. I didn't work out in that hot sun all day and went to college at night. So I got to take a shower. Then I might have some notes I got to look at. That's why my eyes is bad now. I used to have to hold my college textbook outside of a cell trying to read. Because back then we didn't have night lights and you couldn't turn the cell light on. But every chance this guy get, man, like on the weekend, we all sitting around coming from chow or coming from the gym, he always make this statement. I'm the smartest man on this cell block. Nobody never asked him why he would say that. He say it all the time, almost every day. I'm the smartest man on this cell block. And I used to be thinking, hell, I make better grades in college than you do. What makes you think you the smartest man on the cell block? But nobody never would say anything. And this guy, he did a whole 180 with his life. He left all the prison activity alone, all the gambling, all that alone. He just focused on that college. You wasn't talking about starting a business or some type of business contract or a mutual fund or something. This guy don't want to talk to you. He did a full 180. And he was serving a life sentence for a robbery out of Dallas County. Well, anyway, I ended up getting transferred from Ramsey back to Eastham. And he had graduated. I had graduated. And he made parole. He served 12 years on that life sentence. He made his third parole. He made it. Now he got out and got him a job at a trucking firm. Now he owned a trucking firm here in Dallas. He got a nice, man. He lived in about a $600,000 house. Man, he's doing good. But he got one weakness. He loved to pick up them young body sellers. He loved them. So anyway, he called me. He done picked up this young chick. He showed me her profile. He got her off the dating site Tag. I got to give it to the little girl. She 20. She is pretty, man. She is beautiful. He said, man, she advertises on Tag. She puts her number on there, and you call her. She'll say it's $100. Now, he lives close to the DeSoto area. He got a nice big home. So he drove over and picked her up. Took over there. Said, man, she did the food with me all night. He said, man, that girl can do some things with her mouth. He said, man, I even called her mama. He said, man, I passed out and went to sleep. He said, next morning, he said, I'm in there cooking breakfast. Finally, she wake up. And say she had her iPhone in her hand. She was recording. So she walked up to me and said, where's my money? He said, I already paid her. I paid her as soon as she got in my house. I gave her a $100 bill. No, she wanted 500 more. And she says, man, she had me on recorder live. Whoever was on the other end, they looking at the whole transaction. She said, man, if you don't give me the $500, I'm going to have this person that I'm talking to on this phone to call Dallas police and tell them you was kidding. You kidnapped me and you assaulted me. She done seen this guy. This old guy got a lot of money. She could have got way more money from him than that. Now, this man is on life parole. He's been out of prison 28 years. He's been out. Never had a parole violation. Do good as hell. Matter of fact, he only report to the parole officer once a year. Once a year. That's the only time he see a parole officer. And he don't even pay a parole fee because he's under the real old law. And he said, man, he didn't have no option but to give her the $500. Because he know for a fact, if that lady called Dallas police, as soon as they run him in that car, they got the thing in their car. You put your hand on it, it fingerprints you right there at the car, and they can run your records. As soon as it came up, he know a blue warrant was going to be issued, and that's a Texas parole warrant where it'd be no bond. And also with that type of case, fast as they can get an opening in Texas prison system, they transfer you to the prison system. They'll have a parole hearing later on after you in the prison. The parole officer from close to the prison will come have the hearing there. They don't even want to talk to you if you get a felony. Now that magnitude, you is stuck like Chuck. And he know for a fact the way parole system is set up now, and you got a life sentence, you catch a case like that, you never coming out no more. And he's old now. Well, me and him the same age. He's not going to get out of prison. It's a wrap. You'll die there. He said, man, I learned a valuable lesson. He said, he been doing that. He said, man, I pick up all kind of chicks online and bring them over here and do the food with them. He said, the $100, he said, I would have gave her 300. But say that's what she asked for, 100. But that was just 100 was just to get her inside the door. She already had plans to hit you up later on for the 500. He said, man, I'm lucky I carry a lot of cash. He said, she didn't know how much money I got. He said, man, she could have said $5,000 and I would have gave it to her. He said, I ain't have no option. You know, sometimes you need a wake-up call. You've been out of prison for a minute. I don't know how nobody can never forget all that trauma. Plus, he was there. He worked right in the same squad with me. He know what old Lord was like. I don't know how in the hell you don't care if you live to be 200 years old, you ain't gonna forget old Lord. You ain't never ever seen a human like this man here. You know, my subconscious mind always, that's why a lot of things I don't do. I said, man, it's too easy to get in a jam. It's too easy. You ain't even got a plan. It can just happen, man. The way these crazy clowns is, they don't care about getting shot. And they don't care about going to jail. You got to care about your freedom. You done been there before. You know what'll happen if you go back there. You ain't never coming out no more. Not if you went there for a violent case the first time. You is stuck like Chuck. Ain't no parole officer gonna give you parole. First, you got a problem if you're an old guy on living to see your parole officer. That's problem number one. Hell, you old as hell now. Who the hell want to be in the prison old, man? That's a young man's world. Sleeping on them hard-ass beds, cold-ass cell, either it's too hot. The food, come on, straight diabetic food. That food they give you, you have diabetes if you don't work out. There's a lot of guys that get sick. A lot of guys have strokes because they don't take care of themselves. They get frustrated doing time. Mentally, everybody can't handle prison life, the monotony, and the regimented lifestyle. They can't handle it. The shit wear on your nerves year in after year out. All them guards screaming and hollering about be quiet, get off the head running, get on the other side of the yellow line. Oh, you get tired of hearing that shit every day. You gonna hear it. You get tired of it. And ain't but a few can really handle it and come out of there with all their mental capacity. It ain't but a few. Majority of people come out of there and been locked up a long time. He got severe mental problems. Y'all like and subscribe. Hit that like button. I don't want to have to do the fool. You forcing me to do the fool. I ain't got no choice. I know you ain't ready for this kind of life. I know it. Like and subscribe. And I thank you for watching.